Hello everyone, today we're going to be doing the History of the Concept of Time by Martin Heidegger, the preliminary section which is the Sense and Task of Phenomenological Research, Chapter 2, the Fundamental Discoveries of Phenomenology, its Principle and Clarification of its Name, and then we're going to be focusing on just one part of this chapter, which is the part on intentionality. There are, in fact, three parts to this chapter. The first is the part on intentionality, the second is the section on what is called the categorical intuition, and the third is called the original sense of the a priori. These are going to be the next three videos that I make. This one, of course, is going to focus on intentionality. And we begin. Intentionality. Scholastic. There was a charge at the time of Heidegger that the doctrines around intentionality that came out of the phenomenological movement were a confused set of metaphysical and logical notions from the scholastics. Heidegger hears this and says this is a hermeneutic which will destroy any true understanding of phenomenology. The idea of intentionality, which the phenomenologists are working with, is neutral to different metaphysical systems. For our purposes here, this is a hermeneutic which will destroy our understanding of phenomenology. As mentioned previously, intentionality involves a directed towards something. When you look at something, when you perceive something, you have a perception of a thing. When you judge about something, you've made a judgment about, well, something that you judged, etc. All mental acts follow this same structure. When you have something in your mind that you perceive it. You judge about it. You hate it. You love it. Now, there is a misunderstanding that we're interested in clearing up here. This misunderstanding says that intentionality is a relationship between a psychic thing and a physical thing. So, in my mind, there is an intention, there's a perception of a book, and then there's a physical book in front of me. So the intention is the relationship between my perception of the book and the book. However, obviously this has to be false because I could, hypothetically at least, perceive a book without a book being there. That's just a hallucination. We're not interested in relationship between a physical thing and a psychic thing, or a physical thing and a mental thing. What we're interested in is the goal of the perception as such. So when I perceive a book, the perception, the book that I perceive, the thing in my mind, is what the goal of the intention is. The goal of the intention is the object as perceived by you. So when you hallucinate something, the thing that you hallucinate becomes the object of your intention rather than some other possible object of an intention. So this brings us to the object. The goal of the intention isn't necessarily the physical thing, it's the psychic thing. It's the perception itself. It's not the thing which the perception shows to you. In a certain way, it is what is known through the psychic thing, but only as known through the psychic thing. So in my case currently, there's actually a book in front of me. I have a perception of the book, and in a certain way, I know the book through my perception of the book. So what I know is the book itself, not my perception. However, what I have in my intentionality is simply the perception. I have the perception, which is the object of my intention. Even if what I know is the book itself, what I perceive, the object of my intention, is the perception which shows me the book. Take an instance where I walk into a room, see a chair, pull it out, and sit it down. What I see isn't the perception of a chair. What is shown to me is the chair. The chair is shown to me through the perception. My perception of the chair is kind of like a window. It's not like a painting. Like when I look at a painting, I see a picture and I kind of learn about something else through the picture. But I know I'm like looking at a picture. However, when I look through a window, I see the forest on the other side of the window. I go through the window to see the forest, but what I am seeing is the forest. So when I see the chair, what I see is the chair, and the perception is the window through which I see the chair. And then there are three different kinds of descriptions that we can give to the chair that Heidegger is interested in. The first is, it's a chair next to a desk in room 24 of Marburg University. This is environmental. It tells you where the chair is. It tells you its relationship to things. The second kind is a natural description of the thing. The chair is 2 feet tall. That's a very short chair. It's a very small chair. It's 10 pounds heavy. And it's green, kind of a strange color for a miniature chair, mini heavy chair. But these are descriptions of the object's qualities, and those are descriptions of it as a natural thing. And then we have the thingly description of the chair. It is extended in space. It has a color. It is material, or it is made out of material, right? These are descriptions of the object which are about it as a thing. So you have environmental, which is a relationship that the chair has to other things. You have the natural perception of the chair, which is the kind of qualities the chair has. And there is the thingly description of the chair, which is what all things have that also belong to this chair. It's about the chair as a thing. And then we have a complaint, which is that none of these descriptions are scientific. They don't give us perfect descriptions of the chair in itself. We're not learning about the exact weight or the exact size of the chair, blah, 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 quantum particles. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So Heidegger says, yes, you're very right. And that's the entire idea. What we're interested in here is not some exact specification of the chair. What we're interested in is the most naive perceptions, the different kinds of perceptions we can have of the chair, right? We're interested in the basic forms of perception, not the existence of the chair, not the nature of the chair, except insofar as it is perceived by us. So we get a couple aspects of intentionality which belong to perception. One is bodily presence. So you can either imagine a bridge or stand in front of a bridge. When I imagine a bridge, I'm imagining the bridge, and when I stand in front of it, it's there. I perceive it. We also have empty intentions. These are intentions that are often present during conversation. So say you're talking to someone about a bridge, or you mention a bridge in passing. You don't have to imagine like a picture of the bridge to know what's being talked about. You can have this kind of empty intention which directs you towards the bridge without like an imagination of the bridge. This is very common. If I say, Napoleon takes the country, there's like a million different images which can fulfill this intention. You could think of it in a bunch of different ways, and all of them would be perfectly adequate to the empty intention of Napoleon taking the country. He could have done so in plenty of different ways. You could associate any number of images with this, and all of them would be perfectly adequate to this aspect of the intentionality. And then, what I mentioned earlier, there's this distinction between perception of something and a picture of something. The picture is like a painting. It shows you the object, but when you look at the picture, you're conscious both of the picture and of the thing being shown. However, in perception, usually it's more like the window. Perception ordinarily only includes consciousness of what is shown. It also includes bodily presence. Perception is not something which happens in your imagination. Perception is something which happens when an object is there in front of you. That's all that we have for this video on intentionality. The next one will be on the categorical intuition. I hope you learned something. I hope you have an excellent day. I hope you eat a large pretzel like I'm about to. I got these huge, thick pretzels. They taste pretty good.